Gold Rush. Tony Beets' son and nephew clash as tensions boil over Tony Beets has been on a winning streak during the first 6 weeks of the season on Gold Rush. A stark contrast compared to his fellow mining boss, Parker Schnabel, who has been met with a series of unfortunate events. Beets has generated a whopping $3 million in gold so far, and during the December 20 episode, decided to take a break. Even though he planned to have * off for the week with his wife Minnie in Sweden, that doesn't mean the work stopped. The patriarch left the operation in the hands of kids Monica and Mike, and nephew Mike. Something he hasn't done for this long. What could possibly go wrong? Tony Beets wanted to have 3 wash plants up and running when he got back from his vacay. His nephew Mike ventured to Paradise Hill to help Tony's son Mike get the trommel sluicing. The distribution box needed to be reinstalled after being removed for maintenance. It then became a battle of the mics when they got into a disagreement over how to handle the job. Monica tried to cool things off, but felt getting involved wouldn't do any good. Everything had to be lined up perfectly so no wash pay dirt leaked out and lost gold. In the end, son Mike wasn't satisfied with what was being done. Cousin had enough and went back to Indian River to see what was going on at his site and the shaker deck. Son Mike struggled to get the trommel going. A gap in between chutes caused issues. The crew got the distributor on, but the water pump was another problem. They troubleshooted the broken pump, which meant bad news when Dad came over. The Beets clan met up for a gold weigh-in. Son Mike had to face the music that he didn't complete the job. Cousin Mike was washing dirt with 2 plants at Indian River. To reach a 5,000-ounce goal, Tony needed 230 ounces a week. Shaker deck ran for 2 days and generated 79.85 ounces, almost $200,000. Next, Sluice A-Lot ran all week and generated 276.45 worth over $690,000. This brought the total to 1,607 ounces. Tony remained cautiously optimistic about the potential of what's to come. 6 weeks into the season at Dominion Creek, Schnabel found just 290 ounces. With no wash plants running, the miner was starting to get nervous. 2 weeks ago, Parker made the call to shut down his one working wash plant, Roxanne, when the permafrost made it too difficult to dig. Now, after a string of warm weather, the crew was ready to get back to work. Schnabel has hedged his bets working the bridge cut and long cut. The crew needed to dig a deeper ditch in their strategy to get Roxanne sluicing. An excavator went down and needed new fuel injectors installed, which meant another $12,000 in the hole. Meanwhile, veteran team member Damian Brown was sent on a solo mission to get 8 acres cut and 3 acres removed by the end of the week at Ken Tatlow and Stuart Schmidt ground. The one-man show ran into issues including a converter down and a flat tire, all within 24 hours. Luckily, the mechanic cavalry arrived just in time to fix both issues to speed up the sluicing process and make some money. Brown was essentially the mining version of Tom Hanks from Cast Away. His stripping operation neared completion. Schnabel was impressed with his work. Back on the home front, a week's worth of digging the mega ditch was done. They were ready to fire up Roxanne to sluice with a mountain of pay to go through. After 2 days of running in the long cut, it delivered 76.35 ounces worth $190,000. In all, he was at 364.50 ounces. Once again, disappointing results. Can Schnabel rebound? We'll have to watch and find out. Gold Rush. Tony Beets' son and nephew clash as tensions boil over the atmosphere is always electric on the Gold Rush series. The high-stakes drama, backbreaking work, and jaw-dropping discoveries have kept viewers on the edge of their seats for years. But in the latest season, fans were gripped not just by the gold, but by a shocking family conflict within Tony Beets' operation. For those who have been following Tony and his family's journey, it's no secret that the Beets clan has seen their fair share of struggles. However, what unfolded between Tony's son, Michael, and his nephew, Kevin, during the most recent episodes, was a dramatic escalation that no one saw coming. A family business built on Tensin Tony Beets is a figure larger than life in the gold mining industry. A seasoned miner with a legacy built on grit, determination, and undeniable skill, Tony has created an empire in the rugged terrain of the Klondike. Known for his no-nonsense approach and commanding presence, Tony has passed down much of his knowledge to his children, most notably his son Michael. Michael has been an integral part of the Beets operation, working side by side with his father to ensure the mining empire continues to thrive. But it's not just Tony's bloodline that has worked alongside him in the trenches of the Klondike. Kevin, Tony's nephew, has also been With his father's connection to Tony and the Beets family, Kevin was exposed to the gold mining world early on. However, as time has passed, so too has a growing sense of competition, and what began as a healthy professional relationship has slowly turned into a powder keg of animosity. In past seasons, Michael and Kevin have been shown working together, with Michael taking on more of a leadership role and Kevin taking on various responsibilities in the mining crew. But behind the scenes, simmering tensions have been building for years. Both Michael and Kevin have ambitions of their own, and as they've grown older, those ambitions have started to clash. The root of the conflict. To understand the clash between Michael and Kevin, we need to take a closer look at the family dynamics. Michael, the eldest of Tony's children, has always had a special place in his father's heart. He's been groomed for leadership, showing great promise as a skilled miner. But Michael has also been burdened with high expectations, not only from his father, but from the rest of the family. Being the son of Tony Beets means that your every move is under intense scrutiny, and the pressure can be overwhelming. For Michael, this pressure has become part of the package that comes with being Tony's heir apparent. Kevin, on the other hand, comes from a different background. While he shares a family connection to Tony, he has always been more independent in his approach to mining. Kevin's passion for the gold business has always been clear, but his methods are often different from Michael's. This divergence in working styles has resulted in friction, especially when it comes to how the business should be run. Kevin has long believed that his talents could take the Beets operation to new heights. However, he feels as though he's been held back by the shadow of his uncle's legacy and his cousin's expectations. The biggest problem between Michael and Kevin boils down to this. Both of them believe they should be the ones to lead the Beets family into the future. This competition, rooted in personal and professional desire, is compounded by the fact that both are constantly measuring themselves against the towering figure of Tony Beets. This dynamic has made working together increasingly untenable, and what had been a simmering rivalry erupted in the latest season. The tensions come to a boil. All came to a head one fateful day on the Beets mining site. Michael had been in charge of overseeing the crew's progress, ensuring the operation stayed on track. Kevin, however, had his own vision for how things should be done, and when it came time to make a decision on the best course of action for the crew, the two men found themselves at odds. What started as a disagreement over logistics quickly escalated into a full-blown confrontation. The dispute was a combination of frustration and ego, with Michael accusing Kevin of undermining his authority, while Kevin fired back that Michael was too rigid and unwilling to adapt to new ideas. Both men felt slighted, and as tensions boiled over, tempers flared. The argument reached such a level of intensity that it was clear this was no longer a simple disagreement. It was a clash of personalities, ambition, and a battle for control. For the Beets family, this was a shocking turn of events. While Tony had always been known for his tough love approach and occasional harsh treatment of his children, he had never seen such open hostility between his son and nephew. As a patriarch, Tony had always been able to keep the peace in his operation, but now, for the first time, he found himself in the midst of a genuine family feud. The fallout from the clash between Michael and Kevin was immediate. The once collaborative atmosphere on the Beets crew turned cold, and the relationship between the two men became strained beyond repair. There was no denying the fact that both had crossed a line, and the trust that once existed between them had been shattered. The mining operation, which had been a well-oiled machine under Tony's leadership, suddenly seemed fractured. For Tony, the situation was heartbreaking. He had always prided himself on keeping his family close, using their shared work in the mines as a way to bond and build something enduring. But now, the family unit seemed to be crumbling under the weight of ambition and competition. Tony, for all his experience and wisdom, was forced to confront the reality that his legacy might not be as secure as he had hoped. In a moment of reflection, Tony acknowledged that he had unintentionally fostered a competitive environment between Michael and Kevin. As much as he had tried to prepare them for leadership, he had perhaps placed too much emphasis on rivalry rather than cooperation. He now found himself in the difficult position of needing to mediate between the two, while also grappling with the realization that the very thing that had built the Beets empire